What is going on, everybody? We are here for our greatest Royal Rumble preview and predictions. We're going to do a rundown of all 10 matches, give my ideas on who's in the running for the Royal Rumble, who's going to win all the other matches. But before we talk about the show itself, it's the fact that WWE has been hyping this show like a WrestleMania, which, in my opinion, is not a great thing for WWE. WrestleMania is supposed to be the be-all, end-all show all year long. From January till April is when WWE is supposed to is when they always, except for this year, it seemed like always want to try and put, well, more than the other ones, but try to put everything that they can, all their eggs in at one time and make the WrestleMania the greatest show on earth, which half the time it hasn't been. It hasn't been since WrestleMania 27, 26 maybe. I mean, WrestleMania 30, if it wasn't for Daniel Bryan winning the world title, that WrestleMania would have been one of the worst WrestleManias all time. 31 was, if it wasn't for Roman Reigns getting the title stolen from him by Seth Rollins with the heist of the century. That show, of course, which had Sting job to Triple H also as well, would have been one of the worst WrestleManias as well. And then, of course, 32 was god fucking awful. WrestleMania 33 was boring as fuck. And this year's WrestleMania was just sad and pathetic. So, the fact that WWE took everything that we thought was going, like we expected a great Royal WrestleMania this year, and they sacrificed it all to give us this, the greatest Royal Rumble. Now, with this 10-year deal between them and Saudi Arabia, is this not going to be the last time we see a WrestleMania-esque pay-per-view on like it's supposed to be a house show? This should have been just a glorified house show. But if anybody's seen any video from Pro Wrestling Unlimited recently where they've shown videos that people put on Instagram and Twitter and other places too of the set getting made up, this looks like a WrestleMania. This looks like, well, we botched WrestleMania, so let's give you another WrestleMania 2.5 weeks later, 2.5 weeks later. On top of that, we have Backlash coming a week from Sunday. So WWE putting this on at this time seems like a horrible idea. If they want to do the greatest Royal Rumble and do a big show like this in Saudi Arabia to please the Saudis and everything, could you at least eliminate a pay-per-view and have some proper build? This show had next to no build. Even though they have been advertising this forever. I mean, hell, this week, if you didn't know Greatest Royal Rumble was going on this Friday, I don't know what the hell you've been watching, because they've mentioned it 6, 7, 8 times on Monday and Tuesday. And I'm surprised on NXT yesterday they didn't show anything, because WWE wants to advertise this and wants to make a big deal and treat this like a WrestleMania, when the only time you should treat a WrestleMania like WrestleMania is WrestleMania. They tried a couple years ago with the SummerSlam to make The Undertaker, I believe it was The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. So I think it was at SummerSlam, that match, or another match that was bigger than WrestleMania, too big for WrestleMania, and they put it on SummerSlam, and it turned out to not be a really good match. The only matches that had any type of build is Brock versus Roman. Let's see here. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus The Bar, no. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos, and that's it. Just 2 matches. The tag team title match for the Usos and the Bludgeon Brothers, and Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. They tried to do a little build with Jinder Mahal and Jeff Hardy, with Sunil Singh coming to SmackDown on Tuesday and chop blocking Jeff Hardy in a mask, so you know it's not him because he's on Monday Night Raw. He's not supposed to be there. So that was a little bit of build they did for that. Finn versus Samoa Joe versus The Miz had absolutely no build, except for Samoa Joe threatening to win that title, go to Backlash, and if Roman Reigns is Universal Champion, take that title to SmackDown as well. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura has, I guess you could say, has build because it's a rematch from WrestleMania. And let's see, Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto was just made Tuesday night, so how the hell are you going to have any build to the Cruiserweight Championship match, which will probably be on the pre-show, as usual. Cena versus Triple H had absolutely no build. Rusev versus The Undertaker had no build outside of outside of the same promo over and over again. This had Rusev in it, then it was taken out and then put back in. The rumors going around is that Rusev was actually taken out of the match because of his comments to TMZ, where he said he was going to bury The Undertaker and called him his old ass or something. which somebody in WWE's main office took offense to that and was like, oh my god, we got to take him out of the match so The Undertaker doesn't go into business for himself and hurt this guy. And then they're like, well, The Undertaker wasn't mad about it, so we'll put Rusev back in. Which, if The Undertaker, somebody who everyone appreciates because he lives his character, you usually, except for recent years, you usually wouldn't see him unless he was in his American Badass from 2001 to 2003. You wouldn't see him unless he was in full Undertaker gear. This guy getting called while Rusev, who plays his character, is out being asked by TMZ what's he going to do against The Undertaker, and Undertaker was probably like, nah man, that don't bother me, he's just playing his character. Rusev himself, the guy who is Rusev, isn't going to sit there and talk shit to The Undertaker without it being in storyline build. Somebody in the office needs to start taking things way too seriously, because that's exactly what happened there. Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy and Sheamus versus The Bar has a new wrinkle to it, of course, as you saw on SmackDown Live when the Bar interrupted the New Day, because if The Bar wins the tag team titles, they're not bringing them to SmackDown, they're going back to Raw. We'll get to that later. And of course, nothing else got built really. This is a WrestleMania-esque show. It really is. This is a WrestleMania-esque show. There is absolutely, this thing is stacked. 3 weeks ago, and what's great about it for us in the States, and what's really great about it for the guys in the UK and the people over there, is that it's at a normal time for them. We get to wake up at if you're up at 11 o'clock, turn on the WWE Network after you drink your cup of coffee or have your bowl of cereal or eat your eggs or whatever. You get to turn on your TV, go onto the WWE Network, turn that on, and watch from 11 to, I'm saying this show is going to be 7.5 hours if they're going to do this the way they are. That this show is going to be an hour pre-show and then 6.5 hours of TV, of programming on the WWE Network, because there's absolutely no way with that Royal Rumble being 50 men. With the Royal Rumble, usually by itself, almost an hour most of the time. Going 20 more is going to make that an hour and a half, at least. Coupled with 9 other matches. So I'm pretty sure the cruiserweights will be put on the pre-show. They never get to go on the main show. There'll probably be a pre-show match. 1 or 2 of these other matches, if you want to make this a shorter show, is probably going to be on the pre-show. They did not announce any pre-show matches, so I'm not sure if they're going to be any pre-show matches, but I would not be surprised if you see Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship being a pre-show match. Now, getting into the show, we're going to talk about the 2 matches that have no reason to even happen. That is John Cena and Triple H in a singles match. They call it a grudge match. What do these guys have a grudge for? I don't know. And The Undertaker versus Rusev in a casket match. Of course, as you all know, Undertaker made his return at WrestleMania 34, squashing John Cena in 2 minutes and 46 seconds. To the care of absolutely nobody who actually wants to see The Undertaker anymore, because I honestly don't care seeing The Undertaker again. Rumor also going around is that they want Undertaker to wrestle 3 or 4 more, 2, 3 or 4 more times this year. Quite honestly, I think Rusev should win this match, but I know he's not going to, but he should win this match, sending The Undertaker off in a blaze of glory. Rusev will not win this match though, because it's The Undertaker. Yes, back in the day, he would put more people over, but WWE wants to bury Rusev and kill the Rusev Day chance. Putting him in a casket match against The Undertaker is their way of punishing him for just being himself. Rusev is another victim of WWE not wanting to push him. WWE has the people they want to push. If you're not one of those people, fuck you. Just get to the back of the line and just do what you're told. Sit there and collect the check, and there you go. So Undertaker will beat Rusev, probably in about a 2-minute squash match as he was before. Not going to get Rusev will probably get absolutely no offense on the Undertaker. Chokeslam, tombstone, all the bells and whistles of an Undertaker's move set, and the Undertaker will beat Rusev. John Cena versus Triple H for what reason? I don't fucking know. You couldn't just put these 2 in the 50-man Royal Rumble. I mean, you need bodies, so why are you putting John Cena versus Triple H on when Triple H just got his ass kicked by Kurt Angle with his wife at WrestleMania, and Triple H usually leaves until we don't see him. We don't usually see him again until he's needed in storyline, and he's not needed right now. So John Cena will probably win this one because it's probably going to be a family-friendly affair in Saudi Arabia, and there's going to be a lot of fan services in Saudi Arabia, not U.S. fan services, but I see Triple H taking the pinfall here to John Cena. And I don't know how long these two can go. Triple H is getting up there in age. He's been around since 1995 in WWE, and he's been wrestling since like 1994 or 1993. So John Cena over Triple H to get those two matches out of the way. Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto. This match, I say Cedric Alexander is going to win this. There's absolutely no reason for him to lose the title already. He just got it. So that's going to be an easy one. Cedric Alexander over Kalisto in what should be a highly entertaining cruiserweight match. These two can go and do well in the ring, I'm sure. I'm really surprised they didn't do the rematch Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander again, but that would have been, I can understand why they didn't, because it'd be too easy to be like, oh, well, Cedric Alexander's probably going to lose. Or he would beat Mustafa Ali, and Mustafa Ali would turn on Cedric Alexander because he can't beat Cedric. The Bludgeon Brothers, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, or Harper and Rowan, whichever way they want to go, because one week it's Harper and Rowan, next week it's Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. I don't know. Versus the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, tag team match for the WWE SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. Bludgeon Brothers in a 2-minute, 3-minute squash match, because that's how WWE is building the Bludgeon Brothers. They go in there, they beat the ass, and they just squash somebody. It's going to be really interesting to see what the Bludgeon Brothers do when Sanity comes around, because they ain't doing this shit to Killian Dane, plain and simple. Killian Dane is going to be the one guy on the main roster for a tag team guy. Probably the Bar, too. You want to kind of book them strong if they don't win, which I'm sure they're not going to, but we'll talk to that later here in a minute. But the Usos are going to lose this match in a squash. It'd be cool to see Sanity make their debut here and stare down the Bludgeon Brothers. And no, that doesn't mean, they're going to be the next tag team challengers. But set up like, hey, we're coming for you, just not yet. Like when the Bludgeon Brothers were coming for the tag team titles, I know they had to build their way up, but on the way to Fastlane, every time the Usos would be in the ring, the Bludgeon Brothers would come, or the Bludgeon Brothers were in the ring, the Usos would come, and they would just like not really look at each other, except for Rowan, who would look at the Usos, and Harper would just stop him, and they would just continue on. That something on those lines that like the Sanity could let Harper and Rowan know that we're going to be coming for you, and I'm hoping down the line, maybe SummerSlam time, we see Sanity versus Harper and Rowan for the tag team titles. Because Killian Dane will probably do, him and Luke Harper, I'm sure, can have a hell of a match together. The leader of worlds and the Bar versus the Bar for the tag team titles in the tag team eliminator final, whatever they want to call it. It's the tag team for the vacant Raw tag team titles. As you remember at WrestleMania, the Bar lost the titles to Braun Strowman and a 10-year-old kid called Nicholas Cone. Yay, because WWE just forfeited anything that they can ever, making fun of David Arquette with that type of bullshit. That was the stupidest, dumbest thing in WrestleMania history, and if they show it next year as a WrestleMania moment, that is somebody in the back is on drugs. I say Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy should win this match, send Sheamus and Cesaro back all the way to SmackDown, keep them on SmackDown. They don't really need to do much. Other than the AOP, who are the only legit team, and Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler on Raw, they really don't have anybody to feud with on Raw, and you don't want to stunt the momentum of Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, who just got on Monday Night Raw. So the Bar going to SmackDown, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy are winning the tag team titles. I say they should hold them to Money in the Bank or SummerSlam, beating the Revival, beating the Revival, beating the Ascension and all those smaller tag teams, and eventually losing them to either Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre or the Authors of Pain. Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal singles match for the United States Championship. This match and the Intercontinental Championship match have a little bit of precedent to them, because depends on who wins either match. if the Intercontinental title matches first and Samoa Joe or Miz win the Intercontinental title, then that kind of spoils this match. Same thing with this match. If this match has Jeff Hardy or Jinder Mahal, if Jeff Hardy wins and retains, or Jinder Mahal wins and takes it back to Raw, then we already know somebody from SmackDown, The Miz or Samoa Joe, is going to win the Intercontinental title. Now, of course, then we have Backlash, which if Jinder Mahal is... I hope the fuck Jinder Mahal does not win this match. I'm picking Jeff Hardy for this because there's absolutely no reason to have Jinder Mahal win this match. If Jinder Mahal walks out of Saudi Arabia with the United States Championship, WWE is dead set on having another Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton match at Backlash. And that match, I will not touch, I will not review, I will not fucking mention because that shit was fucking retarded last year. It was boring as fuck and I did not want to see it and I don't want to see it again. I would much rather see Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton at Backlash. So, again, there's going to be a lot of feel-good moments in this show. So I see Jeff Hardy winning this because he is probably one of the most over guys in Saudi Arabia, and as he is all over the world, and Jinder Mahal does not need this championship. And apparently, the rumors going around, if everything stays the way it should and the championships stay where they are, Jinder Mahal will go from feuding with Jeff Hardy for this title to feuding with Seth Rollins as being one of his first challengers post this show and post Backlash. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe versus The Miz versus the Intercontinental Championship in ladder match. So we didn't get a ladder match at WrestleMania because there was a ladder match the night before. So they wanted to put a ladder match on here, plain and simple. That's the whole logic behind this. Seth Rollins will probably... it's toss-up for me for Seth Rollins to retain or Finn Balor to win it and then The Miz lose his number one contendership match to the other guy. Honestly, if Finn Balor or Seth Rollins comes out of this show as Intercontinental Champion, I think, and Jeff Hardy stays as U.S. Champion, I think The Miz should have to forfeit his Intercontinental title match because he's on SmackDown and the United States Champion and the challenger to the United States Champion is on SmackDown. So somebody from Raw should have to challenge Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title at Backlash. So I'm going to go with Seth Rollins keeping the title because it is... They want to give Seth Rollins a nice lengthy reign, in my opinion. I think he's going to hold it to at least SummerSlam. That's a nice title reign for him. Maybe losing it to Finn Balor then. Maybe losing it to Jason Jordan when he comes back, when he turns heel. Giving Jason Jordan his first singles title reign. And then when Jason Jordan comes back and wins that title, Chad Gable, who can build some momentum. Going into, if they want to, when Jason Jordan comes back, which will probably be Money in the Bank in June or whatever's in July, Jason Jordan wins it at one of those two pay-per-views, goes to, feud with... Seth Rollins gets his rematch, loses his rematch, and then Chad Gable becomes the challenger to Jason Jordan, and Jason Jordan and Chad Gable end up having a nice feud because I think those two, with the history they have, could be a beautiful feud, especially if Jason Jordan is a heel when he comes back. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. This is a rematch from WrestleMania. I think Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win the championship here. I think it's time to give him a title run and see how he goes as a heel with the WWE Championship. There's no reason to give him another chance. There's no reason to say, well, he lost clean. He did lose clean. This is another one. I mean, he lost clean to AJ Styles and we gave him a championship match just like Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was given a championship match and he lost clean, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Shinsuke Nakamura, with his new music, his new Japanese rapping music and everything, I see winning the WWE Championship and going out of Saudi Arabia as the WWE Champion for a good bit of months before he loses the title to somebody else. And AJ Styles probably doesn't get back into the WWE Championship picture because he'll be fighting... Of course, I think it's going to be AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura going into SummerSlam, but Shinsuke Nakamura will be the champion coming out of the Greatest Royal Rumble. Maybe they'll add somebody else into the mix. I'm not sure. Money in the Bank comes around, and I'm not sure who's going to win that match, that thing, and I think they're going to end up cashing in on Shinsuke Nakamura. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, steel cage match for the WWE Universal Championship. Again, why are we getting this match? Tell me. I don't buy Brock Lesnar saying, well, I just beat this guy's ass. I just beat this guy's ass, signing a contract. Like, you know what? I just beat this guy's ass, busted him open, hit him with 6 fucking F5s, pinned him 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I want to give him a steel cage match in Saudi Arabia for my title, so I can finish the job there. Are you kidding me? And then we get to Monday Night Raw. Paul Heyman saying this is all what Brock Lesnar wanted, and we have plans. You have 4 or 5 people here with mics on them chanting Roman, Roman, Roman. It's convenient that those guys were gone and disappeared after that segment. Vince McMahon, do you really think we're this fucking stupid? How fucking low does Vince fucking McMahon have to go to try and get Roman Reigns over? And it's not working. I would just laugh my ass off. I could be wrong, and I'm sure I am. I will laugh my ass off. If we hear the big dog's music, Roman Reigns' Shield music, which he needs to get some new theme music. You're going to give other people new theme music. Why is Roman Reigns still using the Shield music? That's another thing that pisses people off, is that Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins got new music, new identities, but Roman Reigns is still stuck 4 years in the past. 6 years. 6 years in the past. 4 years in the past from when they broke up. 4 years in the past because they won't change his music. When the NWO, when the DX broke up, nobody kept the DX music. When the DX ended, they didn't keep using D-Generation X. When the Four Horsemen broke up, they didn't use the Four Horsemen music anymore. When the NWO finally saw its day's end, you didn't hear like Kevin Nash or Scott Hall or Hogan walking out with the NWO music. No. Why does Roman Reigns keep that music? Seriously, somebody answer me that. It just makes no sense at all. Roman is probably going to win this match, and he's not going to pin. This is how they get out of having Brock Lesnar lose, but not having Brock Lesnar get pinned. Roman will probably go in. He'll probably kick out of 6 or 7 more F5s, and a couple spears. Probably, I expect blood from both guys in this match. If this is going to be in a steel cage, I know they did it in the last match. I just have a feeling because Brock is an easy bleeder. Brock has some sensitive skin on his head because he bleeds easily. Couple shots into the cage, Brock Lesnar is going to be a Crimson Mask. I don't know the rules in Saudi Arabia. I don't know if blood's allowed in combat sports, but I can see Brock Lesnar bleeding. I can see Roman bleeding. Both guys are going to be a Crimson Mask. Roman Reigns will walk out and be your Universal Champion unless WWE wants to swerve us again. And they're like, yeah, Roman, you're not over. We can't do this anymore. We got to go with somebody else. But Roman will probably win this thing, and hopefully, and when he gets back from Saudi Arabia this Monday, he is going to be shouted and boos like he always is. It never works. They don't understand. I'm hoping we come to Saudi Arabia on Friday and we get boos, boos, boos. Then we have the Greatest Royal Rumble match for a 50-man Rumble. This match is going to, like I said, most Royal Rumbles take about 60 minutes on tops. I think 62, 63 minutes is the longest outside of the 40-man Rumble. This match with 90-second intervals, that's going to take a good an hour or so just to get everybody in the match. That's a minute and a half for everybody to get in the match. So that's definitely at least an hour before all 50 men are in the match. And that's if you, and then it depends on how long when the 50th man come in, how many people are in the match, and how long they take to get out. Those endings usually take a good while. I mean, back when Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker were the final two, and The Undertaker ended up winning that in 2007, I believe they went another 10 minutes. That could happen this Friday, where we have like 7 or 8 guys left, and then they take forever, and we're still going and going. Will the Greatest Royal Rumble end the show? Probably it should. Do I expect them to actually end the show with that? I don't doubt it, because I could see them wanting to end with Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, so he can get that moment, that big crowning moment when the confetti goes off, the crowd is cheering his name, Roman, 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 and the fireworks go off as we end the Greatest Royal Rumble. Don't believe that the Royal Rumble, even though it's called the Greatest Royal Rumble event, don't believe that it's going to actually end with the match itself. I can see Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns being the final match of the night, because Vince McMahon has himself so up fucking Roman Reigns' ass he can taste what he had for breakfast 3 weeks ago. But that is my predictions on the Greatest Royal Rumble. We have... Oh, wait, I didn't say who I was going to say win the match. I have two that would make sense. Braun Strowman and Daniel Bryan. Yes, the winner gets a nice little trophy. There's no championship opportunity, which begs to tell me AJ Styles and Roman Reigns, or whoever the Universal Champion is. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Roman Reigns, not... And I don't think Brock Lesnar will be. I think he's going to... He's going to do the job, get on his plane, and get the fuck out of there. Paul Heyman is not supposed to be in Saudi Arabia, I'm pretty sure, is what I heard. But 50-man Royal Rumble, I say Braun Strowman for Raw or Daniel Bryan for SmackDown should be in the final few. The final four should have at least those two, with one of those guys coming out on top. It is too hard to call because this is not a regularly scheduled pay-per-view. Smart Money says Braun Strowman is the favorite, Daniel Bryan is the second favorite, so I'm going with either one of those two. So we have Undertaker, Shawn Cena, Cedric Alexander, the Bludgeon Brothers, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, Jeff Hardy, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar, and Braun Strowman or Daniel Bryan for the Greatest Royal Rumble. That is going to be all. We will be back here tomorrow for the Greatest Royal Rumble. Right after it ends, I will be recording this for you guys to let you know my thoughts and telling you if this was a good show and if this is better than what they did at WrestleMania, and if this show does better, like in viewership, like not in viewership, but in quality over WrestleMania. Somebody in the main office needs to be fired. Because if this show that's not even on the pay-per-view calendar, you can't go to DirecTV or Dish Network or Comcast and buy a pay-per-view for the Greatest Royal Rumble. This is a WWE Network only show, and they're treating it like WrestleMania 35 or like 34. If this show is better quality than WrestleMania, whoever came up with the idea to have this 2.5 weeks after WrestleMania should lose their job. And if it was Vince McMahon, then he needs to lose his job too, because that's fucking ridiculous. Now, if they want to do one of these next year, give us some time between WrestleMania and this show. Do it in June. Do it in July. Do it in June, or between SummerSlam and Survivor Series. Do it in a window between Big Fours. Make it the Big Five if you want to. Take Money in the Bank and move it down and make it the Big Five. Have NXT in Saudi Arabia if you want to. Something else besides this. Because this is just ridiculous. Because this week we have the Greatest Royal Rumble. Next Sunday, not this Sunday coming up, but the Sunday after, when Roman Reigns is partying, is happy as fuck that he just won the Universal title because Vince McMahon has got his hands on Roman's balls while he's sucking his dick the whole fucking year. This like I said, this is better than what we saw at WrestleMania. Somebody in WWE needs fired, and that's all I got to say about that. My name is Franz. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFranz08. Find me on Twitter at TheFranz. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. I'll be back on tomorrow for the Greatest Royal Rumble, and then Saturday for Unscripted, where I am still trying to find some news because it's been a very quiet week for WWE when it comes to news. And I believe there was a story out there for the main reason why they sent Samoa Joe to SmackDown. I will see if I can get on that news. And as well as have an medical update on Zack Ryder, who was injured this past Monday on Superstar taping. I will let you know if this guy is going to be out for a long while or if he's just going to be out for a little bit, even though he's not going to be around very long at all. Until then, I will see you guys tomorrow then, early, 12 o'clock noon Eastern time on the USA, on WWE Network, 9 o'clock for those out in the East Coast. So if you are over in the California area, make sure to set your alarm for 8 a.m. sharp, because you will be watching the Greatest Royal Rumble early in the morning, so you'll be able to get through the Greatest Royal Rumble and then go on with your day. But I'm getting out of here, and I'll see you guys later.